Well, how do you do, buckaroos? This is Joe Leydon from Cowboys and Indians magazine. And it is my great pleasure today to invite to the CNI studio Mr. Billy Dean, who, after too long an absence, is coming out with his latest album, his new album in about a decade, called The Rest of It's Mine. And I've enjoyed listening to it. But Billy, I get the feeling there's a just a little undercurrent of rebelliousness in this one. It's like goodbye to all that. I'm happy on the beach.
Joe, you're so intuitive. You know, it is. I live down on a little island that I used to go to after playing gigs when I was about 18 years old here in the Panhandle of Florida. I'm a Floridian, and a little place called St. George's Island. And about 4 years ago, I moved back. I always wanted to, live on this island. I would go to it. We would go there when I was a kid. It was about an hour and a half from where I grew up. It's my favorite spot on the planet. And going back there, it reminded me of a lot of the music that I used to sing in these old beach bars around here. We would do kind of a combination of classic traditional country mixed with a little bit of Jimmy Buffett, the Eagles, James Taylor, kind of the singer-songwriter stuff. And of course, if you're at the beach, you're having a cocktail and a toddy too. And I was playing down in Key West, and the great Paul Overstreet, Hall of Famer Paul Overstreet, great songwriter. I texted Paul. I said, "Man, I want to write a song for the empty nester, the people that are coming to Florida. Their kids are grown. I see them in the RV park. They got kayaks, bicycles. They're living their life. It feels like they've got, freedom for the first time in their lives." And he texts me back a chorus and the title, "The Rest of It's Mine, the Rest of It's Mine." Gonna write it out here where the sun always shines. So that's what it's written for.
And that'll be released on July 22nd. And it sounds like you're enjoying yourself down there.
I am. When you get my age, I'm 60 years old. I turned 60 this year. And, I have friends, you start losing friends, and you start realizing, your mortality and how time does go by fast, and kind of made me ramp up some of my living. My mom is 93 years old, and she's in a like a nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
And we took care of her for a long time. And I just decided I'm not going to go like that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go in sliding into home plate. I'm going to go as fast as I can, man. I'm going to, I'm just going to live my life, just enjoy my life, enjoy the outdoors, try to be as healthy as I can, but just put a smile on my face and take in every minute that I can possibly take in, and really be present when I am around the beach, or when I'm driving through the beautiful mountains of Utah, like I did the other day. I had to pull over on the side of the road and take a video of Heber City, where I play a lot of the Cowboy Poets shows out there in Heber City. I never seen the place without snow, but I pulled over, took a minute, videotaped it. It's just what you do when you get my age, I guess.
Well, now you mentioned your mom. Now, you started out playing in your dad's band, didn't you?
I did. My dad was really amazing. He was a really great singer, and better than I am, and play guitar. He had a band for 28 years. Every Saturday they played at the American Legion home. My dad was a World War II veteran, and he'd lost two brothers in that war. And I think music really helped him deal with a lot of things. It's a lot of pain. And he on one side, here was this, tough paratrooper, World War II guy, been in the Battle of the Bulge. And then on the other side of him was this sensitive, caring, soft-hearted, beautiful voice singer, this artist inside him, and those two people had trouble coexisting inside of him. It was like having a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other, but he had that band, and I played with them. They would used to come to our Texaco station and set up in one of the garage bays when I was a kid. And man, seeing amplifiers and guitars and and drum sets. That was like my video game. That was my jungle gym.
Well, now I don't feel so bad about, contributing to my son's delinquency by, bringing him to Woodstock '99 when he was about 13.
Yes,
Uh,
absolutely.
there you go. Now you were on what was billed at the time, the farewell tour for the Judds.
I was.
What is your most vivid memory of Naomi Judd?
Oh, I got so many great ones, Joe. Winona and I are like brother and sister. I'm really close to her. I have such respect for her. But so check this out. So we're on tour. We're in California. This is my first tour. I've really never been anywhere much. I grew up in North Florida, and I've been to Nashville and through Atlanta, and that was about it. I never been anywhere. But I didn't have a credit card. I never had enough credit to get a credit card. But when I had my first song, Only Here for a Little While, comes out, now I got a bus, I got a band, I got a tour. I got no money coming in yet, but we know it's in the pipeline. And I get a $1,000 limit on my credit card so I could buy fuel for the bus to get back home from Monterey, California. We play Pebble Beach. Winona invites me to dinner on the 18th green. She goes, "You got to have a jacket." I said, "I don't have a jacket." So they have one for me. We had an incredible meal. Winona had been picking up the tab everywhere we went, and I had my brand new credit card, and I said, "Oh no." After about 4 bottles of wine, I said, "I got this one. I'm paying for this." And Winona goes, "You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that." So I said, "No, I got this." Well, the bill was $800, and I had to leave a $200 tip, and it maxed out my $1,000 credit card. And I had to go to Naomi, and she goes, "Honey, I'll buy your fuel back home. You can pay me back later." I had to go to Mom. Naomi, she got my butt back home, man, took care of me.
Oh boy.
We had some really great times. We were in Niagara Falls. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was so excited. I'd never been to Niagara Falls, and I go bang on the bus, Wine Naomi's bus, and Naomi answers the door, and she's in her gown, and everything. She goes, "Honey, do you know what time it is?" I said, "Yeah, I do, but man, we're at Niagara Falls. Get Winona up. She goes, "Honey, we've been here 6 times already." I was so green, man. She helped me so much. I miss her. Bless her heart. I hope she's at peace, man. God bless you, Naomi.
Now, getting back to the album, you've also included on one of the tracks a new version of one of your biggest hits, "Somewhere in My Broken Heart." But this time you're doing it with a symphonic background.
Yes, we hired some symphony players to come in. I had orchestra parts written for a lot of my hits, but the guy that wrote the string parts for "Somewhere in My Broken Heart" was the great David Gates from the group Bread.
Oh wow, yeah.
Bread. If a picture paints 1,000 words, and why? He was an arranger. He did a lot of arranging for like the Monkees, the TV show and everything before they started Bread. He and I became friends. He was a rancher up in Northern California. I sought him out, and we did my last Capitol record together, Real Man. And he wrote string parts for me. He said, a great show that you could do where you can just take your guitar into a town and hire string players that are from the town. You don't have to pay the hotel, and you have this lush background music, and you can just show up with your guitar. So he wrote me these incredible, beautiful string parts for "Somewhere in My Broken Heart." And I didn't have the rest of the orchestra parts written. So I had an arranger write the rest of the orchestra parts around those string parts that David wrote. And I wanted to go out and do some symphonies. And that song, Somewhere in My Broken Heart, it's such a dramatic melody. Richard Lee, I have to give him credit. He's a Hall of Fame songwriter. He wrote Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue, probably remember that song. That was his melody, that beautiful melody. And it just always called for strings. But now Somewhere in My Broken Heart was on my first album. Nobody knew if I was ever going to amount to anything, and we didn't have the budget to put strings on it. It's my first album.
You didn't have a credit card yet, did you?
Didn't have a credit. I had a big credit account at Capitol Records, though.
Yeah.
Not enough for strings. So this is the 30-year anniversary of Somewhere in My Broken Heart winning the Academy of Country Music Song of the Year. And we thought a good way to honor that would be to re-record it and put the strings on and the orchestra parts on that David wrote for me. And it's subtle, they're in the background. But I wanted to keep the essence of the country record too, that made it a hit. So we tried to marry both. So and that's a little bonus track for the Rest of It's Mine album that people can take a listen to.
Now, I have to say, my favorite track on the album is Saltwater Cowboy.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's got, well, you paid tribute to Jimmy Buffett, so there's a little touch of him in it, but it's definitely yours. And once again, to go full circle here, there's this, not even an undertone, I'd say it's an overtone. Okay, I did my time in Nashville, and now I'm down here enjoying yourself. You've gotten back to your roots. I mean, do you feel liberated in some way?
I do. Where I'm from, Joe, this panhandle of Florida, you had I grew up in the 60s here, and it's like a jumbo stew of cultures here.
Mm-hmm.
You have a strong Black community, and you have really the white community is kind of the minority here. But all of us white boys growing up, we loved to listen to Black music, and we were listening to the Allman Brothers. There was a lot of that Southern rock. You had a lot of guys you could hear that soul influence in their music, and a lot of those songs, the Southern rock songs, were written around like a guitar riff. It was written around, a guitar riff. And when I got to Nashville, that was still unacceptable. You couldn't rock out too much in Nashville. We were still, you needed a steel guitar and a fiddle. And if you were going to put distortion on an electric guitar, it better be turned way down. So there were a lot of restrictions. I found it hard to find a lane for myself in Nashville, coming from the panhandle of Florida, where I was used to playing Southern rock and Southern gospel and very traditional country. Like when I say traditional, I'm talking like, Merle Haggard and that kind of thing. And when I got to Nashville, some of that they were even saying, well, now that's too country. Well, that's too rock, too pop. So I had a hard time finding a lane for myself, and those were really tight restrictions. And it's an art form too, to learn how to adjust all of that too. But when I came home, man, you're exactly right. I thought, man, I want this, this kind of Southern soul, kind of a bit of a, the funk music. George Clinton is just right up the street over here in Tallahassee. I want some funk country. And that to me kind of is what Saltwater Cowboy is: a little bit of Southern rock, a little bit of funk, and a lot of fun with the lyric, obviously.
So can we expect that sooner or later you're going to cover a Parliament Funkadelic song on one of your?
I can't. You, man, you're like reading my mind. All right, so I'm in Quincy, Florida, where I grew up, and I did a big 4th of July show, and there were some funk bands there. And there's an old famous DJ, Joe Bullard down here on 96.1. He's been a DJ for a long time. And Mr. Joe, I said, you know what? I want to collaborate with some of these guys. How cool would it be if we could take some of that funk music and I could take a little bit of this wooden wire hillbilly country music and kind of start writing together and see what would happen, you know? And Saltwater Cowboy was like the tip of it's kind of what sort of led me in that direction to be thinking about the next album next year, start collaborating now and, you know, and put some of that, you know, that toe tapping funk groove with some good old hillbilly country twang and torch and twang.
Sounds like a tasty mix. Well,
oh yeah, it's reflective of the area where I'm from. It's all over the map. It's just multicultural up here. The food, music, personalities, religion. It's all a jumbo stew here, and it all works. Everybody gets along. Seems to work.
There you go. There you go. Well, the name of the album is The Rest of It's Mine. You can stream it or buy it in record store. They still have record stores, right? Yeah.
A few records. You know, I wanted to do an LP, a vinyl of this. Do you know it's an 18-month waiting list to get an LP made, because a lot of people are buying those, but you can pre-order the album through Amazon or Apple Music. You can stream Saltwater Cowboy and The Rest of It's Mine. Now you can stream on Spotify or any of those, your favorite platforms. Those are available now to listen to for the summer and have a little fun.
Well, do you want to leave us with a little bit of the song?
Yeah, what would you like? You want me to go back the old catalog, or you want something new? You tell me.
Well, I wouldn't mind hearing Saltwater Cowboy if
you got it, man. You got it. Well, I traded my horse and my saddle for a boat and paddle. I'll be buzzing on the beach by 3. Just Jimmy Buffett and me, Saltwater Cowboy. Saltwater Cowboy. No more ass into the cattle. I'd rather hear my tackle rattle. With the tattoos and 10 lines on the Gulf Coast coastline, Saltwater Cowboy. A Saltwater Cowboy. I met a beach blonde and I caught her. She was hotter than a farmer's daughter. Now a shippy-ki-yay on the water. A Saltwater Cowboy. I got a cold one in my koozie and an Apalachicola beauty. She won the wet t-shirt contest. I'm like a pirate with a treasure chest, Saltwater Cowboy. That's my favorite line. A Saltwater Cowboy. I met a beach blonde and I caught her. She was hotter than a farmer's daughter. Now a shippy-ki-yay on the water. Saltwater Cowboy. Well, as long as she keeps on smiling, I ain't never gonna leave this island. You tell my boss up in Tennessee, he ain't never gonna find me, Saltwater Cowboy. A Saltwater Cowboy. I met a beach blonde and I caught her. She was hotter than a farmer's daughter. Now I'm shippy-ki-yay on the water. A Saltwater Cowboy. A lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And one more time.
You know, I'm a big fan, man. I'm a big fan of this. Of the magazine and everything. Thank you for having me too.
Well, Billy, I'm glad that you came by, and once again, get that plug in.
Yes,
the
sir.
Rest of It's Mine.
The Rest of It's Mine.
July 22nd, and you can stream this song and The Rest of It's Mine right now at the the streaming service of your choice.
Absolutely. And July 23rd, the day after the album comes out, tune in to the Grand Ole Opry. I'll be bringing a little bit of Saltwater Cowboy to the Opry stage in Nashville. If you're a fan of the Opry, 6:50 a.m. and all the good places where you find the Opry, we're going to be bringing a little bit of that saltwater there and a little bit of sand and surf to old Nashville.
So are you going to be wearing a Hawaiian shirt or more country-fied garb?
Oh, no, I got my, the shirts that I wear on the video. They're made by a drummer down in South Florida. And it's a very colorful, shirt. And this guy is, he's a drummer, Steve Luongo is his name. And they're really cool. They're really unique. And a lot of, vibrant colors, of Florida. It looks like the sun sets here in Florida. I'll be wearing that for the stage. Of course, this is my all-purpose. This is my saltwater cowboy hat. I wear it fishing. I can wear it in the cowboy way, and I still got my hair. It's all gray now, but I still got my hair.
Okay, now don't show off now, Billy. I mean, you make some of us old guys kind of jealous.
Oh, no.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.